Chapter 1. School is in session. On the first day back to school at Wilkerson High, most students were awoken by loud alarm clocks or excited parents. However, in a five-star hotel not far away, Charity Mills awoke to the sounds of Tony opening the door for room service. "Thank you. You can just leave it right there." Tony quickly ushered the service attendant out of the room. Charity sat up in bed and stretched, before falling back into the pile of pillows behind her. She looked around at the elaborate crown molding that surrounded the ceiling and allowed herself one final feeling of sleeping in 100% cotton sheets. "If you're ordering breakfast, that means summer is over." "I'm not ready for that yet, babe." Tony sat on the side of the bed beside her and gently kissed her forehead. "You are so beautiful. A lot more will be over if we get caught though. Hurry up and eat then get home, before your mom becomes suspicious." Charity sat up just enough to hug him and nuzzle her face into his chest. "Fine. I don't want you to get written up for being late. I hear there's a new hard ass running that school." Tony smirked. "Oh well, of course not." Charity got out of bed and stood between Tony's legs and she gave him a long kiss. "Then again, I think I have it pretty good with the assistant principal." Tony wraps his arms around her waist. "Oh, is that so? Why don't you show me how you'd persuade him?" Across town, in the Wilson family household, Janelle was ready for her first day of reinventing herself. She'd been known around school as Charity's best friend, that weird kid that hangs around the other weird kid, and her least favorite of all, Travis's little sister. Janelle was over being pushed around and known just as the girl who tagged along with someone else. She wanted to be known for simply being Janelle. "Don't be afraid to go heavy with this. You will look so fierce. Trust me." The voiceover in her YouTube tutorial encouraged her as she tried her best to look like she knew anything about makeup. A rough knock on the door made her poke herself in the eye with the mascara. "Geez Travis, I'm trying to get ready in here," Janelle shouted through the locked door. "Well hurry up, you and Jackie Aina are making me late." "That's just a commercial, I'm listening to music." Janelle cut down the volume on her tablet because she didn't want anyone, not even her lame brother, knowing she needed help with makeup. Geez. She looked in the mirror at herself and realized she needed more practice. "I look like a stripper raccoon." She fixed her makeup as best she could and made sure her hair and edges looked good enough for the first day of school. The idea of being noticed by a guy got her giddy. As she skipped towards the stairs, she received an Instagram notification, which was nice because she only had 25 followers. Yes. She jumped in excitement. 26 followers. A text message notification came to her phone next. It was a text from Wilkerson High's bad boy, Joey. He wasn't the hottest guy in the school, but he always knew how to have a good time. It wasn't hard to get away with a lot either, because people didn't expect too much wrongdoing from kids at an elite private school. Janelle ran down the stairs as she saw that she was invited to a party. This wasn't the type of party where she was only invited because the host knew her brother. This type of invite was a first for her. "Hey, it's Joey from school. I'm having a party this weekend and I'd really like it if you could come." As she stared at the phone in awe, Janelle missed one of the steps and tumbled forward. She quickly held onto the railing but threw too much of her weight into it and fell over and into a pile of Travis's dirty football laundry lying on the floor. As she stood up, she checked herself out in the mirror and realized her makeup looked a lot better. Kimiko Lee lived only a few blocks away from Janelle and hurried out of the house to pick her up for school. She had a newfound attitude that was as noticeable as her crisply pressed uniform. She wasn't Chapter 2. It's party time. The day of Joey's party, Charity couldn't think of anything but Tony. She needed to see him again, and contact with him was usually strained when she was in school. It's not that she didn't understand that the assistant principal would be in serious trouble for dating a student. The problem was that a small part of her wished he were a student, so they didn't have to hide. Whenever those irritating thoughts crept in, she reminded herself of how jealous everyone else would be if they knew. Plus, it always helped to spend time with him. She could never regret the relationship when she was around him. "Tony, I think we should have a date night tonight." Joey is having one of his parties, so after he goes there I can sneak away. XO. Sounds good to me, beautiful. I have something I want to talk to you about, so this will be perfect. K. See you tonight. Pick me up outside of Joey's. When Ms. Mills is done playing Candy Crush on her phone, you can break off into groups and complete the assignment. Mr. Williams said as he tied up his waist-length dreadlocks. Sorry, sir. It won't happen again. She bit her lip and gave Mr. Williams her most innocent gaze. Don't make it worse by lying, Ms. Mills. Just pick a partner and get to work. Mr. Williams glanced at her briefly. Charity, do you want to work with me on this? I've kinda been wanting to talk to you. Cerrone looked at her with pleading eyes. Sure. Charity slowly sat down next to him. It had been a while since the two of them spoke. Before he transitioned, Cerrone dated Janelle. Back then, Charity would always be found with Cerrone, Janelle and Miko. They were inseparable. Things changed as sophomore year started. Charity got darker skin and wider hips, so she became super popular. Miko spent more time at home with her neighbor that they were oddly never able to meet. Janelle had Cerrone. They were supposed to be together forever, until the end of high school. It's been a while. It was nice but odd to see him. She realized she avoided looking at him much just to avoid awkward moments like this. Well, it happens. Some of us change and some of us just become who we've always been. Okay. She was sure that was supposed to be mean in some way but didn't care. What did you need? I need you to get Janelle to talk to me. It's important. Honey, there's Insta and Twitter. Pick one and DM her. She's in trouble and I need your help. Charity stood up and grabbed her purse. Janelle and I don't speak much anymore. Her drama will not become my baggage. She felt like she should have shown she cared more. They were all friends once. Go to the counselor if it's that serious. There's nothing I can really do. The rest of the class continued talking in low murmurs, but their gazes showed that Charity's words were heard loud and clear. Later that night, the only thing anyone could talk about was the DJ Joey hired for the party. As usual, he didn't disappoint with anything else for his guests. The 6-bedroom home was cleaned by the maids immaculately, just in time for a bunch of high school students to scuff the floors and drop red Solo cups everywhere. He had a room with an Xbox ready to be played and another room with Oculus VR headsets. This was nothing most Wilkerson High students didn't have at home, but there was still something exciting about having it during a party too. When he saw that Janelle had arrived, he made a quick stop to the nearest bathroom to ensure he was looking as well as his home did a few hours prior. He added a little more gel to his hair and decided that there was no amount of Axe body spray that was too much. He was happy to see that Janelle truly accepted his invitation. It was his junior year and he was going to revamp his image by dating the nice girl. No more of being seen as a player who only cared about having fun. This would be the night it all changed. He would impress Janelle and have everyone asking if they were a couple by Monday. He headed down the hall where faint sounds of music began to surface. Chapter 3. Charity and Truth Bombs. It was sunny and bright outside, so Charity got up to draw her room darkening curtains closed. Her head felt as if she'd been drinking all night and fell asleep on top of the amplifiers at a concert, although she knew better than to actually make that mistake again. She ran her hand across her pink satin sheets in search of her phone, which was always nearby. She checked Instagram and saw pictures of Joey's party from the night before. The party, she thought. The banging in her head throbbed a lot harder. She couldn't even try to remember what she did the previous night. Charity, her mom said in a soft voice. That soft voice usually meant something serious happened. Sweetheart, are you up? Yeah, Mom. What's up? Charity looked up at her mother and couldn't help but notice how casually she was dressed. She had her long thick hair in a high bun and a maxi dress to round off her cute but casual look. She worked for the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and usually looked the part, so this was off. Sweetheart, I just got off the phone with Janelle's mom. She kept her voice calm but paid careful attention to her hungover daughter's reaction. She never came home last night. I know you girls don't talk as much anymore, but do you know where she might be? Nope. Sorry. Charity couldn't let too many words come out of her mouth because yesterday's lunch might have come with it. She then remembered everything except how she got home and if her car had any marks. "Sweetheart, is everything all right?" Her brow furrowed and she lowered her eyes almost as if to see straight through any lie or faux section aid. "Yeah, Mom. It's just weird that Janelle isn't home yet." Charity paused to search for more words that would make her sound believable. She tried not to visibly brace herself for the gathering of emotions happening deep in the pit of her stomach. But people change in high school. Maybe she just met up with a guy and stayed out too late. They both look up as the doorbell chimes. "That's probably Janelle's mom now. But I just told you I don't know anything. Why won't y'all leave me out of it?" Charity shouted. Ms. Mills paused in the doorway before slowly turning around. "She isn't here for you. She needs a friend. Her daughter is missing. And if you don't watch your tone with me, you will be too." As soon as she heard her mom unlock the door, Charity closed her door and called Tony. Her calls went straight to voicemail. She began pacing and panting. She wondered why everyone would be on such high alert right now. She called Tony 3 more times and he finally answered. "Baby, I'm so sorry. Are you going to let me explain?" "What?" She was so confused. She couldn't understand if he saw something even though it was dark. "I still can't wrap my head around it, but I was only with Janelle one time. I'm so sorry, baby. I don't blame you for driving off and leaving me last night." "What the hell, Tony?" "Charity." Her mom screamed up the stairs. "I need you to come downstairs, sweetheart. The police are here about your friend."